Go over an exercise today, front foot elevated split squats. So Matt, if you just crack on, do a few reps so we can see what we're talking about. So the main benefits of this exercise is you're going to be improving mobility in your hips by loosening off your iliopsoas, your hip flexor muscle. You're also going to improve bilateral muscular imbalances. So if you're a lot stronger on one side than the other, doing this exercise one leg at a time is going to help sort out any of those imbalances. Also, another benefit is going to help strengthen up the glutes, which are often pretty weak and pretty neglected. It's going to help improve your balance as well. Just by doing it one leg at a time, you're going to have to work on the balance side of things. Just relax out. Or actually, just go other leg. So we'll show you a few of the coaching points. So the main coaching point is basically keeping your shoulders directly above the hips. So what you want to do here is basically shoulders directly above the hips all the time. If you're really tight in your hip flexor, which a lot of people are, especially if you've got like a desk job or whatever, when you're doing it, you're going to be tempted to kind of lean forward because those hips are so tight. So just demonstrate a bad grip, Matt. So like basically leaning forward quite a bit. Yeah, so that's because the tightness in that left hip is going to pull you forward, but you really want to concentrate on keeping yourself upright and feeling that stretch down the right hip. Okay, just relax out for a sec. Swap legs again. Legs alright? You're just about open. So that's the first coaching point, is keeping your shoulders directly above the hips. Second coaching point is at the bottom of the movement, you're trying to get the hamstring to cover the calf. So you can see how Matt's not just coming down, he's also coming forward as well. That again is going to help increase the stretch in your hip. So if you're just coming down like this, yeah, you're going to be working the back leg, but you're not really getting that same stretch as if you were coming forward like this. Okay, so that's the second coaching point. Handle another rep. Third coaching point we're going for is keep the weight on the forward heel. So coming down, make sure you're keeping the front heel flat on the bench. Common mistake is when people come to the bottom, they'll basically push through their toes, so they'll come up and they'll be like this. That's just going to basically, if you're pushing through the heel, it's going to help you activate the glute properly. If you're pushing through the toe, it's going to put a lot of pressure on the knee. Okay, so just recapping those three coaching points: shoulders directly above the hips to help get a maximal stretch, and keeping the weight on the heel. Sorry, that was the third coaching point. Second coaching point we went over was hamstring covering calf at the bottom movement. So shoulders directly above the hips, hamstrings covering the calf at the bottom, and keeping the weight on the heel. Okay. Really good exercise, especially for people that have got desk jobs and are really tight in their hips. Because like if you think about it, you know, we're kind of evolved to stand most of the time, not sit at a desk 8 hours a day. So when you're kind of sitting in this position here all the time, this hip flexor muscle that runs down here is constantly in a shortened position. So by getting it into here, you're basically doing the exact opposite of what you're doing all the day. You know, 8 hours a day, go home, watch TV. Again, those hips are going to be really tight. So for anyone that spends a lot of time sitting, this is probably one of the best exercises you can do to start off with in your training. One thing you've got to know is if you're exceptionally tight, it's very, very easy to basically overstretch your hip flexors and pull them slightly if you do this. So if you're really, really tight before you do this exercise, it's a good idea just to do a few sort of dynamic hip stretches just to loosen them up a little bit before you load up heavy weight, because you know, I've learned from experience that with a couple of clients that are really tight, they can just kind of pull their hip flexors quite easily. So just make sure you get properly warmed up before you do this exercise. So yeah, that's front foot elevated split squats. Hope you enjoyed that video, learned a couple of things. Try it out and give us a like. Thank you.